What's going on, everyone? Forex Fargo checking in. Forex Fargo back again with your Forex Fargo weekly webinar from February 7th, Super Bowl Sunday. Go Tom Brady and the Buccaneers through February 12th, 2021. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into it, baby. What's going on, everyone? Forex Fargo checking in. Forex Fargo weekly webinar. This is actually Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl, I don't know what it is, but it's going to be the Chiefs versus the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I was going to say Tom Brady Buccaneers because I don't really care for all that extra shit. But, diving right into it, Super Bowl starts in about 10-15 minutes. So if you missed this, you're going to catch the replay on YouTube. Dollar index, gold for gold. Euro, USD, AU, GU, GJ, and UCAD, right? So just starting off with the dollar index, okay? Right here, we are looking at this from a daily time frame, right? So what we see is, if we just look at last week we had this beautiful break and retest finally above our daily resistance level, so we can change this to our daily support level, right? Because 91 is now being held at our support, right? Now, since we're looking at this right here, we can also see that on Friday NFP, we had this beautiful fucking, retracement all the way back down to our daily, support level now, which was a market structures level swap. So now we're looking to see if we can continue that trend all the way to the upside, right? If we look at this on the weekly time frame, you can just see that this weekly time frame left a beautiful wick to the upside. So, that's also a nice indication that that's something that could potentially happen, right? So moving along with that, if that does happen, we'll dive right back into the dollar index. Dive into EU, because EU has an inverse correlation with this, right? So if we're looking at dollar longs, right, what we'll be looking at from this level right here, you can see I already have it marked on my chart as a 4-hour daily resistance level. I'll delete that real quick so you don't get confused. I have this right here marked as 4-hour or daily resistance level, right? So right here, what we're gonna do is on Friday, we can see literally, if we look at this Thursday, we move from 4-hour daily resistance all the way to, our weekly support level, daily support level, whatever you want to have it marked as. Then on Friday, NFP day, we literally move like 80 something pips, right? So Friday seemed to be more of a liquidity grab, right? So, I'd be interested in entering this trade somewhere around here, right? Scaling in on the smaller time frame, you can kind of see that previously, before, we ended up having like two beautiful doji patterns, and then that gave us a nice little kind of a cup and handle, a little break and a retest kind of action, and then that followed us all the way through. So maybe we can have similar PA, price action play out around this level, and once again, just following along with it on a small time frame. I have the RSI relative strength index indicator marked down here. Do I necessarily use it? No, but do I glance at it from time to time to just kind of see if I could build an extra confluence? Absolutely, right? So that's what I'm looking at for EU, right? On AU, right? We can see last week I took a small loss on this buy position, right? I just had early buys. It is what it is. Take your wins and your losses. But right here, we're gonna go ahead and see. I always tell us to look left, and I prefer looking left, because if we look left right here, we can kind of see the prices are lining up. This was a beautiful shooting star. You can call it inverted hammer or something, but price whipped all the way back up. This is from January of last month, January 28th of last month, right? So, price hasn't yet to make its way all the way up here, right? So if we get stopped out, right where price, is respecting this higher time frame level, I got no worries, as long as we don't have a 4-hour daily candle close, or, 4-hour candle close, or a, daily candle close above this level, where I have it marked over here, then then I'll be looking for the bullish trends. But right now I'm just looking to see if we could catch the retracements to the downside, right? So once again, these are all aligning with the fact that the dollar index, I am looking for it to go long, right? So moving on with this, this is actually kind of an easy trade. If this does not happen, I'd actually be, pretty surprised. I know a lot of other people are looking at fucking shorts. I don't even need to, I'll add another one just for the sake of the new webinar, but you can see this is a trade that I've taken sometime last week, right? So a trade that I've taken sometime last week, on GU, looking to kind of replicate. Caught this for about 125 pips last week. Then on the buy for like some 50, 60 pips, right? So if I can feel comfortable catching, you know, similar positions and similar pippage, you know, that I caught last week, I got no problem and no problem being content with, you know, this trade, whether it nets me, you know, 50 pips, 75 pips, or, you know, 155 pips. Looking at this from the high time frame, you know, once again, don't do yourself a disservice. You know, the last fucking few weeks we have, you know, been super bullish. So I would not be surprised if we do have, you know, this big push all the way back up to, you know, right. So we can see right here, right? So we could get a push up a little bit further, but right now we're respecting this May level from right? So there's some liquidity, and if we are gonna have a potential reversal, it actually is gonna fall pretty fucking hard. So that actually might be a good play. And that's what I'm looking at on GU. Right? So, you know, just looking at this on GU from the daily time frame as well, right? You know, if you just follow along from 135, 800 to 137, so that's about how many pips? It's about 150 pips. So for about 150 pips, you can see it actually looks like a nice inflow. So, you know, on the small time frame and on a larger time frame, you got multiple fucking rejections. You got like 6 or 7 rejections. And I know this because you guys don't see this, but before I did my webinar, I literally wrote everything that I'm talking about down, and this is how you that's right. Things that you don't see behind the scenes that not every trader is going to show you. But going ahead and like I was saying, you know, so what your job to do is kind of see where you can kind of catch some entries and executions. So this are not signals, it's just the overall analysis and kind of to help you engage an idea of what it is that I'll be looking at. All right, and then we'll dive into GJ, right? So GJ, we can see, you know, last week, excuse me, last week, I'll be like that. No need for that. Last week, I was actually looking to see if I could have this big short play on GJ. I caught a short on GJ, just wasn't, you know, the idea and what I was looking for. So, you know, I caught it for like, you know, however many pips it was or something like that. But when price got back down here to this 142, you know, call it 143 level, where it was already holding, you know, previous pending orders, liquidity. I was holding previous pending orders. It was holding liquidity, and then on top of that, it was also, you know, a daily support level in the supply zone. So what happened right here on the higher time frame? You know, I talk about people, talk about supply and demand zones. Can't dive into it deep in this video. I've mentioned the other ones, but just understanding, you know, if you do trade with zones, RBR, so RBR rally based rally, right? So this was a rally, pretty much a break and a retest, you know. So this was a break on the higher time frame. Yeah, we pushed all the way back up, but we still retested this on the higher time frame. It was respecting that level, right? So boost patches. Patches. Mute. Let me turn this up a little bit. Can you guys hear me? Am I good now? I turned the gains up a little bit, so I just muted whoever that was. Let me know if you guys can hear me. But going back to what I was saying, you know, this was more of a RBR rally-based rally. If you trade support and resistance, I mean, that's support and resistance, supply and demand. Let me just try to draw that out for you guys real quick, right? So what I mean by that, right? You know, just pay attention right here. What we're looking at is we saw GJ do this, right? So we saw GJ push all the way back up, you know, then retrace back down 100 pips to only continuous move all the way back up, right? So that's just kind of, you know, why I like keeping things kind of simplistic, because at the end of the day, you know, if you do understand basic terms and you keep applying the same type of, you know, trading day in and day out, it will stick, right? So not a professional, you know, on my way to making one. Yes, I do know that, but, you know, until then, we're just going to keep sticking with what works. So on the, you know, smaller time frame, pretty much what I'm looking for on GJ, I'm looking to see if maybe I could catch a sell position. Now, this is a little bit optimistic and kind of foolish, because, like, once again, just looking at this on the higher time frame, everything is bullish. But if we do look over here, right, we're getting some exhaustion. So I understand that, you know, so you guys understand why I'm looking at shorts. You know, I do open up my time frame to a macro perspective to understand where exhaustion levels and you know, all of that stuff could be at, right? So we have the option to wick all the way back up to, you know, 144, you know, 900 or something like that. That's only like 20 something pips away, right? So what I'd be doing, you know, I'd like to monitor price action around this level where we currently are, because these seem to be near, you know, like daily highs or whatever like that, right? So I like to monitor price action. I'll go ahead and I'll draw a little ellipse, right? And then what we'll do is we'll do a short and see if we can catch it like that to the downside, right? And yeah, perfect. That works. That looks good. Yeah. So once again, you get stopped out. You get stopped out, and meaning I'm more or less not talking for you all, just talking for me. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. You know. But once again, I know what it is that I'm looking for, and I know what it is what I'm potentially looking for. So this may happen and may break to the upside, but I know that I have some resistance level. Like I'll do this right there. So I will also draw this so we understand that this is like a little zone or something like that, right? So we want to turn price right there. And then on UCAD, right? So last week on UCAD, once again on the macro, excuse me. So on the macro time frame, you know, it's quite evident. So I like keeping it simple, right? I tell people all the time, you know, just because you have black lines on the chart, don't force it the same way you're not supposed to force your trend lines. You mark your levels and you wait and you execute. And if price is near your levels, you wait to see if you have projections, you monitor price action, but you don't just guess, right? So like, you know, I can enter a trade right here because I know price is probably going to go bullish. I've had this marks for a couple weeks ago. This 127, 350 level, I've already identified this as, you know, the fact that this is a support level, right? So, you know, prices seems to be grabbing liquidity. I know what happened on, you know, on Friday, right? So this is, you know, now Sunday or, you know, Sunday, Monday, but drop it down to a smaller time frame so we can kind of see what happens, right? So if we were to draw just so we can just familiarize ourselves and get ourselves better, right? So right now we're currently, if I was to just delete my black line, right? So, you know, let me just hide this real quick so we don't see it, right? So now, and let me get rid of, I don't want to get rid of it, but for the sake of it, whatever, fuck it, it is what it is, right? So now what we did is we deleted everything so we can kind of see this a little bit clearer, right? So now that we've done that, we can see that price is actually within this zone. Now, when price got within this zone, right, it actually broke up to the upside, rejected, 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 rejected. And right now, we had this candle closure within it, but we're still rejecting within this zone. And this zone has been held up since January, 27. This is how you get better as a trader. You know, I'm going to go ahead and put my levels back so I don't, you know, confuse myself. I had it somewhere like right here, something like that. Don't have to be perfect. I just know that it was around there. And then my long position was something like this, I believe. Yeah, something like that. Right. So overall, before I go ahead and tell you guys what else, I'm looking for or looking at, we'll just go ahead and recap real quick, right? So the dollar index, 91 is now holding as a daily support. We're looking for further bullish continuation to the upside. All right, on AU, we're looking at the 725 level, right? Looking for rejections, potential price action, dojis, engulfings, inverted hammer, shooting stars, whatever. EU, 124.50 is our 4-hour daily resistance level. Looking for bearish continuation toward our weekly low at 119, 500 or so. GU. Its price is currently at 137, 250 weekly resistance level, daily resistance level, 7 to 8 rejections on the higher time frame. Looking for retracements toward 136. I wrote gold in big letters that you guys cannot see over here. It says not fucking with it, which is why I'm not actually going to go over it. GJ high time frame shows all bullish. Potential retracement at 144, 800, triple top at higher time frames. I said multiple rejections as well. Retracement toward 143, UCAD 126, 500 or so, price respecting previous week lows, potential for bullish continuation toward 128. And then those is everything that I've gone over so far, right? The two bonus ones that I'd like to give you all before I check out of here. Let me make sure it's recorded, right? So I found these 2 good trades right before I actually came upstairs. I was telling my girl that it's probably gonna be a bread and butter one, right? But EA, right? So this is actually a definite, I don't even need to draw anything. You can just look at fucking price action, right? This is probably gonna happen sometime this week, right? And then this is gonna happen sometime this week, right? I'd make a lot more money on the EU trade. On the EA trade, but so this is actually what I'm looking at. You can probably catch this from 1.79 or something like that, all the way back up. So I'll move that up a little bit. Might be able to catch that actually That might be a good push. Let me look at the weekly time frame real quick. Just delete that. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like we might be able to get there. It depends, you know what I mean? So yeah, there we go. That looks better. So yeah, you might be able to get there. You can see there's a lot of liquidity, you know, between these two levels right here. But you know, at the end of the day, oops, excuse me. Apologies about that. Right, just delete that. So going back to the original, you know, playlist or whatever. Once again, you know, you guys got it. You know, pay attention, follow along with the trades, you know, catch some pips, drink some beers or whatever like that, spend some time with the family, and don't stress yourself out. You know what I mean? You're gonna get it eventually. Look, you know, I even stopped posting my trades. I got people unfollowing me. I don't care. I'm living my life. I'm comfortable. I'm happy. You know, so at the end of the day, do what works for you. Don't be, you know, consumed by what social media thinks and the facade that everyone puts out there. Like, I'm living a comfortable life, and things are gonna get better when I truly, you know, untap my unlocked potential. So, Forex Fargo checking out, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Go fucking Tampa Bay, baby!